Hey everyone, grab a seat, let's get started. Welcome to today's Explainer. Now, have you ever wondered what a genuine shared blueprint for a better world actually looks like? And I don't just mean globally, I mean right here in our own neighborhoods and schools. Well, back in 2015, all the United Nations member states got together and adopted this massive, incredibly ambitious plan to bring peace and prosperity to people and the planet. Today, we're going to unpack exactly how this works, and more importantly, how you guys can actually be a big part of it. So, Agenda 2030 is officially defined as a shared blueprint for global peace and prosperity. But a blueprint is kind of just a piece of paper unless you actually have some actionable steps, right? To see what those steps look like, I want you to imagine a clean, bright animation popping up on the screen right now. A whole grid of 17 distinct, brightly colored icons coming together like a giant puzzle. Each of those squares represents a bold, specific mission. These are the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, and they're basically the ultimate to-do list to make this grand vision a reality. All right, to make these 17 goals super easy to digest, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the 2030 Global Blueprint, and then we'll group the goals into 4 main pillars: people and basic needs, prosperity and sustainable infrastructure, protecting our planet, and peace and global partnerships. Finally, we'll wrap up by seeing how they all form interconnected goals for tomorrow. Okay, let's jump straight into part 1, the 2030 Global Blueprint and Understanding Framework. Before we break down the specific goals, we really have to wrap our heads around the grand scale of this thing. This framework tackles massive global challenges. We're talking severe pollution, deeply entrenched poverty, and rising inequality. But listen, these aren't just faraway problems happening on the other side of the world. They affect every single corner of the globe, including our own backyards and local communities. That's exactly why we need a comprehensive framework to tackle them from the ground up. Moving right along to part 2, people and basic needs. This covers goals 1 through 5. So these first 5 goals are all about fundamental human well-being. Goal 1 is no poverty, and Goal 2 is zero hunger, meaning literally ensuring everyone has enough to eat. Goal 3 focuses on good health and well-being, like fighting diseases. Goal 4 is absolutely crucial for you guys: quality education. It's about making sure every kid in every neighborhood has access to great schools. And Goal 5 is gender equality, striving to empower all women and girls in leadership and basically every aspect of life. Now, look at this number, $2.15. Globally, hundreds of millions of people actually survive on less than that a day. Think about what you can even buy for $2 right now. Almost nothing, right? But poverty isn't just an over-there metric. Even right here in our own country, roughly 1 in 6 children live in poverty, which deeply impacts their local neighborhoods and schools. When you put that into perspective, the absolute urgency of Goal 1 becomes super clear for our own communities. All right, part 3, prosperity and sustainable infrastructure, covering Goals 6 through 10. This pillar is really about the physical resources we need to thrive. Goal 6 is clean water and sanitation, meaning safe drinking water at your local parks and school water fountains. Goal 7 pushes for affordable and clean energy. Goal 8 champions decent work and economic growth, so that when you guys eventually graduate, there are actually good jobs waiting for you. Goal 9 fosters industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And Goal 10 tackles reduced inequalities to try and level the playing field for everybody. 40%. So what does this actually mean? Well, to truly reduce inequality, the income growth of the bottom 40% of the population has to outpace the national average. Think of it like a grading curve in this classroom. If the whole class improves, but the students who are struggling the most pull their grades up the fastest, the gap between everyone shrinks. That fundamentally shifts how opportunity is distributed. It's a real game changer. Next up is part 4, protecting our planet. This includes goals 11 through 15. As you can probably guess, this pillar is all about the environment. Goal 11 focuses on sustainable cities. Think affordable housing and better, greener bus routes in your town. Goal 12 is responsible consumption, which means things like reducing the crazy amount of food waste in our own cafeteria. Goal 13 demands urgent climate action. And finally, goals 14 and 15 focus on protecting life below water and life on land. So things like cleaning up local streams and protecting the biodiversity right in your neighborhood. But look, protecting our terrestrial ecosystems and oceans isn't just about local weekend conservation efforts. It requires integrating urgent climate change measures directly into national policies and local city planning. Without systemic, top-down climate action across the board, protecting life on land and below water becomes pretty much an impossible task. Okay, part 5, peace and global partnerships, which takes us to our final two goals, 16 and 17. These last two goals are essentially the bedrock for the other 15. Goal 16 aims to significantly reduce violence, protect children from abuse, and build accountable, transparent institutions. Because honestly, without justice, sustainable development simply collapses. You can't build a house on a shaky foundation. Goal 17 is partnerships for the goals, mobilizing the resources and technology needed to make the whole 2030 agenda actually work. And here is perhaps the most important takeaway of the entire framework. No single country can achieve these goals alone. It's literally the ultimate group project. We share one planet, one global economy, and our ultimate success depends entirely on unprecedented international collaboration. Which brings us to part 6, interconnected goals for tomorrow. Let's look at the final picture. As we wrap up, the big picture is super clear. These 17 goals form a single interconnected puzzle. You can't have healthy communities without clean water, and vice versa. Success requires active participation from governments, businesses, civil society, and, most importantly, individuals like you and me. In fact, you can literally start today with 3 simple steps. First, reduce your energy use. Just turn off the lights and unplug your chargers when you leave your bedroom. Second, organize a weekend cleanup at your local park. And third, educate your peers by sharing what you've learned today about the SDGs. It's really that simple. So I want to leave you all with a final provocative question, and I want you to discuss this in your groups. Think locally. Which SDG is the absolutely most critical for your specific neighborhood today? Is it clean energy, reducing inequality, maybe better local infrastructure? Take some time to discuss the specific challenges our society faces right here and how you can apply this blueprint in your own backyard. Keep learning, keep advocating, and thanks for joining me for this explainer.